Now staying with the head of state, and President William Ruto is fast coming under heavy criticism over his bullish nature of governance, pushing through some of the plans that have been halted by the courts. In instances such as the housing levy, which the courts have since found unconstitutional, the president said that the plan will go on undeterred. Same as was his stand during the recruitment of 1,000 police officers to Haiti and the privatization of state parastatals. And while his critics call him a, quote, dictator for such bullish tendencies, those who support him say that Ruto is a courageous leader. As NTV's senior political affairs reporter Ibrahim Karanja now reports.
President William Ruto's style of leadership, 1 year and 93 days since assuming the highest office in the land, is one that has attracted praises and criticism in equal measure.
By fiat, by executive fiat, it's simple, it's called dictatorship.
Just one word, I would actually go with a courageous leader. Very few presidents in Africa can work with a progressive and liberal constitution like ours.
But what goes unchallenged for sure is that for the 66 weeks that he has been in office, Ruto has largely had his way with his wishes.
Once the executive designs, the law doesn't matter. Then the public may also design the same law doesn't matter, and that's dangerous.
From the most debated and discussed ever in the history of finance bills under the 2010 Constitution, the Finance Act 2023 was passed and enacted with all the government-desired clauses, despite outright rejection of some of the clauses by the people during public participation. At the time, Ruto quoted to have said at a Thanksgiving service for Environment CS Soipan Tuya in Narok County that he was eagerly waiting to see which of his MPs will vote against the proposals and effectively deny hustlers jobs from the housing project.
I am waiting for the members of parliament who will go and vote against the plan to give these young people, majority of them, they are voters. I am waiting for them to go and vote against the employment of these young people.
The pronouncement assuring his wishes were granted at the floor of the House. Yet 5 months after the pronouncement, the judiciary would find some of the clauses in the Finance Act 2023 unconstitutional, but still gave the government 45 days to regularize the unconstitutionality. And as was during the initial period, the president is at it yet again, this time saying that the housing levy is unstoppable and must be implemented no matter the cost. But the finance bill and its details are not the only instance where President Ruto's my way or the highway kind of approach has been seen. There are other instances, many of them. The latest being his statement at the Kimalel Goat Auction and Cultural Festival in Baringo County yesterday over the route to implement the universal health care, especially through the Social Health Insurance Fund. In Ruto's eyes, the move by some quarters to fight the implementation in court is this.
Hawa wakora ambao wanataka eti kuendelea na wizi katika Ministry of Health, I want to tell them it will not go on anymore.
I find it a little bit subjective to then insist that the president should be sounding like a priest. He never was before we elected him. He's not going to start now. And if anyone actually calls or thinks of William Ruto as a dictator, that particular person either is an alien who landed in this country this year or is a child. Because let's do comparison here. If you're going to do analysis, there are a little bit of some basic tools, like just doing contrasting and comparing. As in, there has never been mpende msipende. You can get that comment elsewhere. I don't want to actually, you can mpende msipende itakuwa. William Ruto has never used security agencies to defend his actions against the law.
And despite the courts having not concluded the matter, the president is yet again stamping authority.
Hawa wakora hawawezi kutushinda, tutapambana na wao.
Also on the list of issues that the president has passionately rooted for despite skepticism from the people and the courts is the deployment of 1,000 police officers to Haiti, the continuance of the 65 billion shillings Aurora and Kimwarer multipurpose dams project, terming their prior scandal as political witch hunt, and the continuation of the government-to-government oil deal. In the early days of his administration, the president also had a green light for all his cabinet secretaries' nominees MPs, despite the Parliamentary Vetting Committee rejecting some of them, only for their decision to be overturned by the Committee of the Whole House. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.